Ma next. What does ma teach us? Anyone remember?
Open our mouth.
So open our mouth. Yeah, perfect. Keep it nice, open and round, even if we're coming from a closed point of contact like an M. Ma. And I like to have the distance that I practice being the distance of my thumb behind my teeth. Awesome. All right, here, let's do ma. Same thing. You join me on the second sign. Here we go. Ma, 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 ma. Ma, 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 ma. Ma, 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 ma. Ma, 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 ma. Ma, 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 ma. Ma, 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 ma. Cool, good job. All right, who remembers what me is about? See if someone different remembers what me is about. Anyone? Bueller? Oh,
It's for your nose?
For our nose, exactly, to remind ourselves that we can vibrate and make sound through our noses, and this is called forward placement because it's in front, it's forward of our sound maker, which is our voice and our throat. Cool. And so me is not supposed to sound good. It's supposed to sound really annoying, as if you were a little kid throwing a temper tantrum, right? Me, everything's about me is the sound that we're going for, okay? So it's not supposed to sound good. Here we go. Me, 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 me. Me, 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 me. Me, 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 me. Me, 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 me. Me, 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 me. Me, 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 me. Awesome. All right, and then the last but not least, we have la. Who remembers what la means? Somebody different. Who watched the video? La. No one? Okay, so la is the opposite of our forward placement. So we just practice me, 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 right? Trying to force all the vibrations to be here in the front of our face and the front of our nose. So now we're going to do the opposite, and we're going to try raising our soft palate, which is the top of our mouth, the back part where the dangly thing is, the uvula. Oh, like you were about to yawn. And see if you can get that space open. And my ears always pop when I do this. Yeah, if you make yourself yawn, you're doing it right. Oh, we're trying to make enough space for a golf ball back there, okay? And we're gonna kind of sound like an old British lady when we do this one. Here we go. La 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 la. La 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 la. Keep that space nice and open. This is a hard one to keep open, so remember to keep a golf ball back there. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Good job. All right, do we have any questions about those? No? Talia, what do you think? Should we do some more warm-ups, or what do you want to do?
Yeah, I think warm-ups are important because, you know, they help get the nerves out. They help get your vocal cords ready. So I think let's do another small round of warm-ups and then go to some questions.
Okay, cool. All right, so this next one was not on the video. This one is called I Love to Sing. And we're gonna go up pretty high with this one. And when we start getting up really high, you can start leaving some of the letters off. So when we start singing really high, I actually start saying I to sing because I'm just too high. We should warm up We should warm up every time before we sing, definitely. And I'll warm up. Sorry, that's just a question that we had. And I do warm ups just like constantly. I sing in the shower. I'll do warm ups if I'm just bored trying to, whatever, keeping your instrument nice and warm. So as often as you can think of it. Okay, so this next one is called I Love to Sing. And it's a little bit trickier in terms of intervals. Just do your best. We're going to do it a lot, okay? So you'll get used to it. Here we go. I love to sing. Excuse me. I love to sing. Ready? Join me. I love to sing. 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 And now we're getting into different parts of our vocal register. I have to switch up into my head voice now. I love to sing. 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 This is one of my classical warm-ups that I love because I get to be all operatic when I get to the top. Here we go. I love to sing. I love to sing. And I forgot to mention for the men, obviously an octave below me. I love to sing. I love to sing. Yes.
I have a question. Can you, for those that might not know what you mean by head voice, and then can you also show the octave? So because not everybody knows octave too.
Sorry. So an octave means that you're singing the same note, but eight notes lower. So it's more in your range. So if I'm singing up here, you would sing down here. Okay. Can you hear that on my keyboard? Yeah. Cool. Awesome. And then so chest voice and head voice is a little bit, it's kind of up for debate among vocalists whether those things actually exist or not. But basically it's different areas in your voice. If I'm singing down low, down here, which is where I talk, then my vocal register is considered to be in my chest voice. If I'm singing way up here, then the quality of your voice just changes. The way that you use your throat has to change so that you can reach those high notes. I cannot hit these notes in my chest voice. Way up here. It doesn't sound very good in my chest voice, right? So I have to find the ways. Yeah, sorry, you had to all listen to that. So I switched into what's called the
no, sorry.
I mean, I rock. I'm actually proud of myself for getting up that high in my chest voice, even if it didn't sound very good. So awesome. Where were we on I Love to Sing? I'm going to pick a note. I'm going to pick this note right here. Here we go. Back into I Love to Sing. Remember, I'm doing it twice. You join me the second time. Lower octave. I love to sing. I love to sing. I love to sing. I love to sing. And we're getting up pretty high here, so if you need to leave off the L from love, you can say I love to sing. 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 Let's do one more. Here we go. I love to sing. I love to sing. Cool. Good job, guys. What questions have we?
Well, I want to remind everybody when you're doing these warm-ups, the number one thing, don't forget to breathe. Because
Oh,
like
yeah.
I just busted myself trying to do all those without breathing in between. And I'm like, ooh, I'm lightheaded. And you've got to remember. So if it's a little too fast, do it slower so you can do the whole thing.
Okay,
like,
yeah, sorry, I was trying
and
to
then breathe. No, you're fine. It's no sorries at rock camp.
Ah, you're right. You're right. Good example. No sorries.
But yeah, does anyone have questions specifically about warm-up?
About warm up?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
I do.
Okay.
So
We have other questions though. I noticed your hand was up for a while. Do you want to ask your question
please go ahead.
on JC's camera? I can't remember your name. I just met you the other day.
Andrea.
Andrea.
Abby had a question not related to the warm up, so that's why we were waiting.
Oh, okay.
You can ask. Now's a good time. Let's ask it now.
Okay. Is the girl that was doing the warm-ups the one that was unmuted doing them Sydney's violin teacher?
Wait, I'm so sorry. Say that. Ask me one more time. I didn't quite understand.
Are
Say-
you Sydney's violin teacher?
I am Sydney's violin teacher.
She gave ties to you a minute ago.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
That's a very good question. Good job. So Laurie does teach vocals, teaches violin, piano. I just found out ukulele, all sorts of cool things. And Laurie, you do lessons like this, right, on Zoom?
Online lessons. Yeah, I'll do occasional in-person masked lessons, but for the most part, we're doing online right now, just until stuff normalizes.
Cool. Does anyone else have music-related questions about warming up? Mars? We can't hear you. You are muted.
Now can you hear me?
Yeah.
So as far as my voice, I personally, when I sing, I like to go a little lower in octave, but I don't know where my range is yet because I know that like I do have a higher pitch voice, but I also like to have a lower pitch voice, and that's how I prefer to sing. So would you recommend me singing in the higher octaves for warm up? And then
that's a really good question. That's actually a really good question. I do recommend warming up your entire range because everywhere in your voice will sound better if you're warmed up everywhere. So for you, I would do those nice high warm-ups just to do them, just to wake your voice up, clear out any phlegm you need to clear out. That I Love to Sing one is really good for clearing out phlegm. And then you can add for yourself some lower warm-ups, like we could go me, 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 and just keep going lower and lower until you can't anymore, and then you found the bottom of your range. But sing where you want to sing. Yeah, cool.
Mars, do you have a piano at your place or a piano player in your band?
we have this guy over. Can you see?
Nice.
Over there.
So a cool way to figure out your range is by sing with your piano. So start on some lower notes and see if you can hit those notes and just work your way up with every white key until you'll see where your voice breaks. You'll see where you can't sing here anymore. Your voice will really break. You'll feel it, and then you'll know when to go up into your upper register, if that makes sense. But piano is a great way for vocalists. So if you've got a piano player in your band, you two can warm up your hands and your voice together, which is really cool.
Cool, cool. What else we got? Come at me with questions.
So the disconnect between the lower register and the higher register, where your voice cracks.
Yeah.
When you're doing the warm-ups, if there is a crack, do you just kind of power through it to increase your range?
So that crack is called a passaggio. In the classical world, we call that a passaggio, and you can figure out, you can work on working through it. For me personally, I'm actually right now trying to work through how to do warm-ups where I'm in my chest voice for a low note and then my head voice for a high note without the crack in the middle. I'm working on that right now. And at least for me, I have found it has to do with like the amount of pressure that you're exerting on the note at certain points. I don't know how to explain that any better. Like, yeah. As I approach my passaggio, as I approach my break, I keep my airflow going, but I'm going to kind of back off on what I'm doing with my stomach muscles, and allow my head voice to take over. I like to think of the law warm up, where we start using and opening up our mouths and using those muscles. So think about kind of transitioning the bulk of the work from your stomach to the back of your throat. I don't know if that was helpful or not. Okay.
Another good one that I've used is if you do your warm-ups where you go,
Oh yeah.
so you hear where my voice started to go, that's where you learn where your low is, right? And you can go, boo.
Yeah, I can't tell you.
Somehow you
You muted yourself,
Sorry.
Talia.
You don't ever want to push your voice. You don't want to push your voice if it hurts or like push through it, but kind of glide, bend your notes into it.
Yeah.
I have a question. What about breathing exercises?
Breathing exercises. Yeah. Oh, hello. I haven't seen you before.
Sorry.
Rashawn, how do you say your name? Rashawn?
There you go. Like you named me.
Rashawn. All right, cool. So breathing exercises, really, I just like to sit and like consciously, I'll close my eyes and consciously try to fill my lungs up as deep as I possibly can. Like I said earlier, our lungs are not actually this big. We always think of our lungs being up here, but this is like where our heart is, right? Our lungs actually come all the way down here to the bottom of our rib cage. They're huge. And we don't ever get practice filling them all the way up. So I like to push myself, and I'll close my eyes and push all the air out. And then just as if through a straw. And you keep going and you keep going until you think you can't go anymore, and you got to push yourself. I promise you can fill your lungs up more full than you think you can. And then exhale. And you're practicing stretching it, and you're practicing what does that feel like? Because I actually have to move my body to fill my lungs up all the way. If I'm sitting like this, there's no way I can do that breathing exercise, right? So I'll find myself doing this as I'm inhaling to see how I can possibly, right? So posture and form is super important. Keep your shoulders down. You want to avoid this. This is kind of the intuition. When we breathe deep, the intuition is to go like this, but we want to keep all that down and inflate down here. And you have to be willing to look a little bit pregnant. Yeah, you just have to be willing to let go of that and be willing to look a little bit pregnant. Cool. What else? What does this person say? Do you always warm up alone or with people? Oh, that's a good question. Both. Depends on who I'm with. Warming up with other people can be more fun for sure. But warming up alone, I find I can spend more time on nitty gritty stuff and not have to worry about other people's opinions, and what we're spending our time on. So both.
I have a question about when I was doing the warm-ups, my voice kind of sounds like I can hear your voice and it sounds really smooth, and my voice sounds kind of like shaky, like kind of, yeah. I don't know why. Is it just like I need to exercise those muscles?
That's going to be breath support, confidence, yeah. And you might be tense. If you're holding yourself really tensely, then your voice will be shaky. So I think about, if my voice is getting shaky, then often I'm not pushing air through appropriately, and I breathe really deep, and then I'm holding it in like. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So
that's exactly what I just sounded like. So that's good to know.
So when I do the warm up and I'm trying to focus on getting my breathing going, I try to start my air before I start making sound, if that makes sense. So like on I love to sing, I like to say I love to sing instead of I love to sing, to practice pushing that air out. I love to sing instead of I love to sing. It's just a little bit different. And once you start pushing the air through, you just gotta, you know what a bellows is? You know, like a fire bellows.
Oh, for fire, like you crank it, yeah.
Yeah, or a bagpipe is another good example where you fill it all the way up, and then once you start depressing it, you got a same amount of pressure the whole time. And keep pushing it all the way through. Yeah, and confidence goes a long way too.
Yeah, I can definitely feel when you were saying tense up in your shoulders, like when I took those deep breaths, I was all up in here. And
Yeah.
I think when I was singing, I was all up in here instead of
Yeah, yeah.
here. So I think I just really need to like think about it.
I'll often, like with my students, I'll have them hold their own shoulders down when they breathe, and like hold your shoulders down. That's why I have you guys do this, so you can see if you're breathing up and down like that, you'll feel it in your hand. Versus if you're letting yourself look a little pregnant, right? Different muscles.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you. That
Yeah.
explained it so well. I'm like, oh, that's all I
Okay.
need to do? Okay,
Okay.
easy. Cool.
Awesome.
I have a question about that too, that kind of ties right into what Hillary just asked, because you've performed on stage before, right? And we're supposed to like make a video of ourselves with this camp, and I'm pretty nervous about that. So like, what do you do as far as like for confidence and calming your nerves before you go out on stage? And what should we do before we make our video? So
right, yeah, amazing question. Stage fright, what to do about stage fright. So I'm just going to tell you all the things that I do for stage fright, okay? So the first thing that I do right before it's time for me to go on stage is I drink a big glass of water, because that interrupts the anxiety response. So drink a big glass of water right before. Do 10 jumping jacks, because that also interrupts the anxiety response, and it gets the blood going to places where it's supposed to go. And then I always remind myself, what is my body actually doing? Like, why do I feel like I'm about to have a panic attack? And what is physically happening when I have anxiety? So let's talk about what happens when you get nervous, right? Your heart starts to beat faster, right? You kind of start to breathe a little bit faster, and your body gets tense. So why do we think our body do these things? Why do you think, Erin?
probably to like protect us, to get us ready to run away.
It's fight or flight. It's your fight or flight response. 100%. You are correct. So our heart starts beating faster so that we have more blood supply available. We start breathing faster so we have more oxygen to the brain, and our body tenses up so that we're ready to react to whatever we need to react to. So it's totally primal. Like stage fright is primal. And what I have to do is I just have to talk myself through that. And I've decided that each of those three things, I've given them a different value. So instead of my heart beating fast and making me nervous, my heart is beating fast and sending blood to my fingertips so that I can play my guitar. I'm starting to breathe faster so that I can have more oxygen to my brain so that I can be sharp. And I'm tense, and so that I can be holding my instruments, and so that my body's ready to go so I can move and stuff like that. So it's all about just finding your own reasons for why you're physically reacting that way. Yeah. Cool. Okay, bye.
So I look at it as, do any of you play sports? Does anyone here play sports or have done anything like sports, or you like to race your brothers and sisters or your siblings, or even not even if you're playing a sport, but do you like to race your siblings? It's kind of the same thing. Like you're getting ready to go compete. And music is not a competition, but performance is similar to competition. You're going into the game, you're getting ready to accomplish this gigantic goal you've been working for. You've been practicing for 3 months straight, and this is one show you've been doing. So there's all this adrenaline, and it's like Laurie said, instead of the adrenaline being a negative thing, look at it as this is getting you ready to go and be a warrior. Go face your fears, go project all this energy off you. You know, it's kind of like you feel electric. So turn that nervousness into electricity, which I think is kind of cool.
That sounds like a song. That sounds like your next song, Talia.
Ah, done. But yeah, any other questions on that sort of stage fright stuff? Mars got a question.
This actually isn't a question. So as a person who's been in bands and with Slay Lake and been a band coach, one thing that I think is really important for everyone to know is that everyone is in it together. You're not the only one who's out there singing. You've got your drummer, you've got your guitarist, you got your bass, you got your keys. So you guys are all like a team together. So I don't know, that's just something that that helped me when the first time in my entire life I've ever gotten up in front of an entire audience was the first Slay Lake City. And I wasn't nervous because I knew that I had everyone around me they had my back. So that was just something that I just wanted to share with everybody because I think it's important to know that it's not just you that's out there. It's all y'all, and you're all having fun, and that's really the number one thing, is having fun. That's all.
I agree. I concur. Yeah, you're definitely not alone. Everyone else is backing you up, and there's other people that they're listening to also. I think on that same vein, there's like people aren't just looking at you. They're not just listening to you. Like they're looking at the band as a whole. Yeah, not to say we're not all special, but we are. But kind of that whole philosophy of that, like people aren't paying as much attention to you as you think they are. Yeah, cool. What else we got? You are welcome more.
She was saying thank you for the tips learning about stage fright. So I have to say, like recording a video, like I talked about during songwriting, is a whole nother level of stage fright. And not to bring any pressure or anything on with that, but what's nice is there isn't a big old audience, everybody watching you, but you tend to feel more like, pressure because it's your family members or it's your friends, right? I'm more embarrassed to sing in front of my mom than I am in front of all these strangers. It's crazy. So, but you have to remember that your family love you. They support you. They want to be a part of this band. You all are doing something so brave. So anytime that those thoughts creep in, be like, well, guess what? I'm nervous to sing, but guess what? Dad's nervous to play the drums, right? Or my sister's nervous to play the keys. So you just have to remember, you're not the only one. Laurie, I want to kind of shift the conversation to the rock camp song.
Okay.
So did everybody at least get a chance to learn the rock camp song? Who's on the Zoom? Give me a thumbs up if you learned the rock camp. That's all right. That's all right, Rashawn. It's super easy. It's an awesome song. And yeah, let's just kind of go through the parts and see if anyone has questions about it.
Oh, where did I put my notebook?
No.
Let's see if this is the right notebook. Yeah,
so
all right.
One thing for me that's really cool about the vocalist in the band is that you are the messenger. Think about that. You are the conveyor of the message. So whatever the song is about, people can be playing whatever they want on their instruments, but you are the voice. You are the person who is saying, this is how we feel. This is what we're putting out into the world. So if you're singing like, saying yuck to the status quo, do I seem like I care about it? No. So saying yup to the status quo, if you put your body into it, you put your passion into it. So let's remember that when we're singing these words. And go ahead, Laurie.
All right. I think we just want to review it like we did on the video. Is that what you're thinking? Yeah, cool. All right, cool. So we have verses, we have choruses, and we have roll call. How is roll call going to work? Are they recording the band's the camp song also in their video, or just their song? Oh, okay.
Just their song. Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know how that's gonna work. Okay, well, so you don't have to worry about that as much. So with the verses, the melody stays pretty similar the whole time. Whoops, not that. We're starting on D. We're here to rock. Let's just do that much. We'll just go one line at a time. Okay, here we go. We're here to rock. Okay, next line. We came to roll. Let's do just those two lines together now. Here we go. We're here to rock. We came to roll. Okay, our next sentence. Making some noise. Fourth sentence. Taking control. So we're just going back and forth between D and E the whole time. Ya da 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 da. Okay, let's do that verse one more time. We're here to rock. We came to roll, making some noise, taking control. And then we have a verse. Whoopsies. We build each other up, not tear each other down. And then we just repeat it. We build each other up, not tear each other down. Let's do the verse. Let's do the chorus again. One more time. Chorus again. We build each other up, not tear each other down. We build each other up, not tear each other down. right, verse 2. We start on E instead of D. It doesn't really matter. It's basically the same melody. We came here to get loud, showing up strong and proud. Let's just do that much again. We came here to get loud, showing up strong and proud. And this next part is the sentence Talio was talking about, where we say yuck to the status quo. And I always like to yell. Saying yuck to the status quo. Here we are putting on a show. All right, let's do the second verse again, the whole thing. Here we go. We came here to get loud, showing up strong and proud, saying yuck to the status quo. Here we are putting on a show. Then we have the chorus again. We build each other up, not tear each other down. We build each other up, not tear each other down. And then we have roll call, which doesn't really apply. And then we have verse 3, which is the same sentence that we just repeat twice, so that's easy. Hey you, yeah you, you're amazing, it's true. Repeat. Hey you, yeah you, you're amazing, it's true. Then we have the chorus again. We build each other up, not tear each other down. We build each other up, not tear each other down. Ba-ba ta ta ta, ba-ba ta ta ta, ba-ba ta ta ta, ba-ba ta ta ta. Woo! But you have to do the woo part. Do we want to try singing the whole thing without stopping? Yeah, cool. Here we go.
Do you have it to the recording by chance? Are you able to play that from your phone, or?
I can probably play it from my phone.
Sorry, I didn't think about that.
Talia, I could play it from YouTube with the lyrics showing. I could share my screen and do that.
Oh, let's do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Give me 1 second,
That's
and I will pull it up here. Here's the lyrics that we have, and maybe after this we'll make sure to email everyone, because it has the chord at the top here, this E, and then this is what we're singing, and then this is the chord that changes to A, and then there's a B. So there's only 3 chords in this song. But let me go to YouTube.
It's a little blurry.
Oh, is it on the sharing the screen? Probably it's a little small.
Yeah.
We'll make sure to email it to everybody. And let me just find, if you are on YouTube and you just type in Rock Camp SLC, this is where all of our videos are in case you haven't been there. So this is where the Rock Camp song, Build Each Other Up. This is the song that you want to look up. So I'm going to pull it up. You should be able to hear it, and everybody mute and sing along. Here we go.
Okay, I'm going to mute too.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Verse 1.
We're here to rock, we came to roll, making some noise, taking control. We build each other up, not tear each other down. We build each other up, not tear each other down.
Second verse.
We came here to get loud, showing up strong and proud, saying yuck to the status quo. Here we are putting on a show. We build each other up, not tear each other down. We build each other up, not tear each other down.
Once we have band names, this is where we'll yell your band name. The Fam. Think of band names you know.
Laurie.
We all rock. We build each other up, not tear each other down. We build each other up, not tear each other
Awesome. So we wrote that song obviously about maybe sometimes we're told that we can't do something because of who we are, or, you know, you can't play music because you're a girl, or Rashawn, you can't wear a dress if you want to. You know, we wrote that song to say, guess what? No matter who we are, we can be who we want to be. And that's what Rock Camp really is. Our main thing is that we want you to know that you should take up space. Every single one of us were put on this planet to do something, right? So we were put on this planet to take up space, and don't be afraid to take up space. And especially our lead vocalist, you know, you're also not only the messenger, you're the personality a lot of times of the band, right? So can we think, anybody think of their favorite lead singer? It could be any gender. Aw, that's just brownie points. One of my favorite lead singers to watch was Michael Jackson. You know, Michael Jackson could sing. He was perfect in pitch, and he could dance. And you just knew that he felt every note that he was feeling. So let's go around and everybody say who their favorite singer is, and then think why. And maybe think what they do that you could try doing when you sing the Rock Camp song. Do you know what I mean? So if anyone else raise your hand, you got a favorite singer, just let us.
Yeah.
Okay. Sophia's favorite is?
Ariana Grande.
Is there a reason why Ariana is your favorite?
Because she has a pretty voice.
She has a pretty voice. And you know what? How she got her pretty voice? Practice.
Oh, makes sense.
So it's important to practice. Lo, who's your favorite?
One of my favorite singers is Madonna.
Madonna. And we learned about Madonna with Eugenie the other day, always changing her style, always changing her vibe, not just singing pop music, but going and doing hip hop and doing all these different songs. And she just wanted you to pay attention, right? So that's a good thing. We got over here, JC. I'm sorry, I forgot your name again.
It's actually Abby.
Yeah.
Abby, that's right, Abby.
Yeah.
My favorite lead singer is me.
Yourself? I love that. You know what? That's a beautiful thing, because your favorite lead singer should be yourself, because you're being brave and doing it. Nice. Andrea, do you have a favorite lead singer?
You know what? I kind of, like you were saying with Michael Jackson, I mean, growing up, that was just like the epitome of like the best lead singer. So again, like you said, I think just he was such a performer in every regard that I think I just trying to do something as simple as sing a song, you can appreciate how amazing he really was.
Yep. Cool. Mars, did you have one?
So, I mean, of course, I have a ton of favorite lead singers, so it's hard to choose. But after Eugenie's workshop, or the History of Women in Rock the other day, like Sister Rosetta Thorpe, like just like her soul meets like gospel, and her presence when she got in front of that whole crowd, just like, and that voice and everything, and just, you know, and she's, you know, a diva, curvy woman who is just so powerful. And yeah, I've listened to her, and I just keep wanting to listen to her because her voice is amazing. So, I mean, again, there's lots of people out there who I totally admire, but that just blew my mind when I, you know, like when Eugenie showed us that, and it just, anyway.
Yeah. It made me cry. I don't know how many people saw that, but I was a puddle of tears. But yeah, I mean, to look like she did, and back when she existed, you know, when it wasn't as safe for her to be who she is as a big Black woman, I felt overpowered. And yeah, she just embraced it and owned it. And that's what it is about, is confidence. You know, knowing what you are good at, what you have to bring to the table. Rashawn, who you got for us?
I have a mix between Bob Dylan and Jerry Garcia. And I think you just touched on it, Talia. It's, you know, I think I really love them because if you listen to either one of them, they're not great singers, but they are really confident in what they do, and they're wordsmiths. You know, I mean, it's about the poetry that they are putting on behind the music.
I love it. And like you said, they weren't the perfect singers, you know, like sometimes you hear Bob Dylan, you're like, is that a cat? No. But the cool thing is Bob had his style. So it isn't always about necessarily being pretty or perfect. Hillary, who's yours?
I was thinking when you asked that, probably Stevie Nicks. Like I grew up listening to Fleetwood Mac, and Stevie Nicks just has a really cool tone to her voice, really good quality, and it's just warm and it's witchy. And on her song Goldust Woman, I'd never really noticed in the background the backup vocals that she's singing. It's kind of like shrieky. I don't know. It's weird. I went and listened to it at a place that had speakers like all around the whole room, and you could hear in each ear just different background things that I'd never really heard in the album before. And that's a cool idea. I think when you're doing your song with your band, you know, think about your verses and your chorus and your lyrics, but like what other cool little background things can you be doing? Whispering is really cool. I love whispering on albums and things like that, or getting other people involved in your band, like just being a mentor to the other people in your band, encouraging them to be brave and to sing backup vocals and things like that could be cool. But yeah, Stevie Nicks, I grew up listening to her and still love her.
Can I say mine, Talia? I'm here too. I just didn't want to be
here the whole
singing on
time.
camera because I'm a freak. I immediately thought I was torn between Lauryn Hill and Brandi Carlile, and there's something about those singers and their voice and the soul, and like you just feel it. I cannot see Brandi without sobbing. It's just a very overwhelming. Yeah, I love them.
And that's a great point, is that they bring you to tears or they make you feel emotion. And that's really cool if you can do that with your audience. If you can make someone cry, you've done it. It's better than any Grammy you could get, right? Is being able to connect to people's hearts and make them feel good. Duke, who's your favorite?
Of the thousands of people I probably could choose, I'm going to go back to my roots, and I'm going to say Bruce Dickinson of Iron Maiden. He's super theatrical, and he overcame throat cancer, and he flies their band around in a 747, and just so awesome of a performer.
I love when theater meets rock and roll. Queen, another great example. Freddie Mercury, when you have theater meet rock and roll, so cool. Then Tiana, who's your favorite?
Go ahead.
Lauren Hill.
Awesome.
We've been watching Sister Act. She really likes her.
She's my favorite in Sister Act. And she, you know, she's kind of got that don't mess with me vibe, but she's also got that heart. It's so cool. And B. Lynn, who's your favorite?
Well, you took it just now. It was Freddie Mercury. I grew up on Queen, and he was very theatrical on stage. Yeah.
I love it. And for those that don't know, B. Lynn is Milan's sister. So Milan's been involved with Rock Camp forever, and we're just happy to have you guys here finally. So I love that. And Freddie Mercury's Milan's favorite too. So Laurie, yeah. So Laurie, who's your favorite?
Oh, that is so hard. That is so hard to pick a favorite. I would say I can tell you my favorite right now, which is who I'm listening to right now, is Fanny, which is an all-chick girl band from the 70s. It's like if the Beatles and the Beach Boys had a baby, but it's all chicks. And they are just so into they just kill it. They all sing, they all play instruments, and they all sing. So I'd say the whole band, Fanny. I can't pick one of them individually there, and they take turns with like solos and they harmonize, and it's great. Good stuff.
I love it. I just learned about a new band. That's sweet. I wrote that down. So a couple things before, stage fright, I wrote down for you to remember water. So people remember, water is important with band practice, with rehearsals, and most importantly, water before you play. The other thing you talked about was jumping jacks, right? And then you talked about connecting to your mind and taking those things that make you nervous and turning that energy around. So Laurie, is there anything else you want to let us know before we have to go?
I mean, you all rock. Besides that, that's pretty much it. That's all I have to say.
Awesome. Well, everybody say thank you to Laurie Height.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You are welcome. Thanks, guys.
And we'll have your next voice lesson live tomorrow night at 7 p.m. So you can take next week's lesson tomorrow at 7 p.m. All right. And feel free to reach out if anyone has questions. Thanks for coming today, y'all. We'll see you soon.